Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Members, welcome back. Before we left, I did announce that we'll start with questions under Ministry of Tourism as we come back. So here we are. Question 449, Lilongwe Mpeno Nkhoma. Lilongwe Mpeno Nkhoma, you in the house? You have the floor.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I wish to commend you for recognizing Lilongwe Mpeno Nkhoma on a day like this at 11:32. And we wish to confirm that question 449 originates from Lilongwe Mpeno Nkhoma. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Minister of Tourism.
Maybe I go to my. Oh, thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Through you, I would like to thank the Honorable Member from Lilongwe Mpeno Nkhoma for his question. His first part of the question is asking the Ministry of Tourism to consider constructing a 5-star hotel close to Nkhoma Mountain and a road to Tuma Forest Game Reserve as a way of fostering tourism in line with Malawi 2063. Madam Speaker, the Malawi 2063 acknowledges the rich cultural and natural resources the country has that are yet to be harnessed for tourism. These resources include the Nkhoma Mountain and the Tuma Forest Reserve. As a way of utilizing these unexploited resources, the Ministry of Tourism, on the direction of the National Tourism Policy, developed a National Tourism Investment Master Plan, which is a blueprint on how we want to take our tourism from now to the next 20 years. And this master plan, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, was ably launched by the Excellency the President in April 2022. The master plan, it zoned out the entire country into 28 districts, and we demarcated those districts into 10 tourism nodes. And each node identified all the tourism resources in the node that list major attractions in the node. The Honorable Member may wish to note that Nkhoma Mountain is listed under the Lilongwe Zalanyama node under project number 12, and the project identified in the development is the development of the Nkhoma Mountain Tourism Center and trails. This project, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, includes tourist adventure activities such as mountain biking, pony rides, and a zip line. A tourism center equipped with restaurants, washrooms, and other amenities will be a start of all the activities. The public sector investment will enrich the tourist experience to Nkhoma Mountain and increase visitation. We expect that the increased visitation and enriched experience will attract investments from the private sector for construction of the restaurant, a hotel, a zip line, and other tourist activities in the medium to long term. The Ministry of Tourism, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, has also noted the request by the Honorable Member to construct a road from Nkhoma Mountain to Tuma Forest, which covers roughly a distance of about 24 kilometers. The Honorable Member may note that under the Access to Road Results, which my ministry implements under the Public Investment Program, PSIP, the Ministry of Tourism considers the last mile infrastructure which are less than 5 kilometers. In this regard, therefore, the Honorable Member is being directed to put his request with the Lilongwe or Salima district councils so that this can be included in their development programs. On the second part of the question, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, he's asking if we could consider putting up a cable vehicle to ascend and descend the Nkhoma Mountain and the tourist apparatus. As I already mentioned, Madam First Deputy Speaker, the Tourism Investment Master Plan recognizes Nkhoma Mountain as an important tourist attraction in the Lilongwe Zalanyama node under Project 2 in the Master Plan. And the zip line is inclusive, which may also include or accommodate a cable car. Once again, Madam First Deputy Speaker, let me reiterate that my ministry will enhance the mountain by developing trails and visit amenities such as washrooms and information center, because at the moment, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, people already visit Nkhoma Mountain, but we don't have those kind of facilities. Thank you so much, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism, for that response. Honorable Member for Mwanza Central, what has gone out of order?
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I pressed the button with an intention for a supplementary question, not necessarily an order.
Honorable Member, what you did is to ask for the floor for a point of order. I will forgive you because we are still learning the gadget anyway.
And by the way, we are the 90.
So you'll be the first one to ask, thereafter, Machinga East, then Chikwawa Central, in that order, please.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. I rise to ask a supplementary question to the Honorable Minister of Tourism in the context of exploring, identifying, developing, and planning to visit one of the most scenic mountain, a hill called Msinjanamwali. The very name has a cultural connotation. And through Mwanza District Council, we have, or they have requested us, that is members of parliament, to ask the Honorable Minister to send officials to come and see this Mpinjanamwali hill or area where most tourists are coming, particularly from Mkondezi and Manicaland province in Mozambique. But since it's at the border with, on the Malawi side, I would want to persuasively request the Honorable Minister to ask her ministry to come with officials so that they could advise us as how best we can develop this panoramic, scenic, nice, beautiful, quaint, gorgeous, cute place. Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. This hill is surrounds some village, Zikaloka, Chipondeni,
and all the villages in your constituency. Thank you. Machinga East.
Good morning, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Madam, I'm rising to ask a policy question to the Honorable Minister responsible for tourism. We have noted just recently that the ministry initiated a policy on Visit Malawi project, and we have seen that the minister herself, as well as officials from the ministry, they have been trying to put Malawi on the map by visiting some of the countries, just in trying to make Malawi visible. The question from that one, Madam, is to find out whether this initiative is bringing positive response to the country, and whether we have already started maybe appreciating or even benefiting from the initiative. I would want the Honorable Minister to inform Malawians on what benefit are we getting from that initiative. I submit, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you. The people of Chikwawa Central.
Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for according the people of Chikwawa Central to ask a supplementary question. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, last sitting of Parliament, I did ask a question to the Minister about the boundaries for Lengwe National Park. And she was very kind enough to mention that she will visit the area as soon as she can. Now, Madam Speaker, we are going towards the end of the year. I don't know when exactly I should visit the area, especially under TNP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism. Respond to those three questions.
Thank you very much, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Mwanza Central wants us to send officials to see the mountain Msinjanamwali, which is panoramic, scenic, cute, gorgeous, and all of that, all the adjectives that he can use, he used them, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Just to say that he will definitely send. Madam Speaker, but I also wanted to say one thing, that we are working very closely with our counterparts from the Ministry of Local Government to ensure that we are devolving tourism development products. Why we are doing so is that if we have this panoramic, scenic and beautiful and gorgeous mountain in a particular place like Mwanza Central is saying, why must people from Mwanza Central not benefit from the process of the same? So if people are going there, Madam Speaker, you will notice that they are paying nothing. So we are thinking that that's an anomaly that we need to correct from the tourism perspective. I went to Mulanje Mountain, Madam First Deputy Speaker, and I only paid 300 Gwaja. And that 300 Gwaja didn't even go to the council. So we are thinking that we need to devolve the tourism development, and we're working closely with our counterparts from the Ministry of Local Government so that we can see how best we can do so. The investment master plan, like I've already articulated, it identified 103 projects across the country, from Chitipa Wenya to Sanje Maga. But we are saying that it is going to be wrong if all the proceeds that are going to be realized from there will go to account number one, all the taxes and all of that. We need to ensure that the district councils there, they're the first ones to benefit. The people that are privileged enough by God to be in those places, they should be benefiting from the tourism attraction that God in his infinite mercies gladly gave us. So yes, definitely we'll send a team of officials to see how best we can develop that mountain, so that it can be one of the products that we're going to use in the tourism arena. Machinga East is talking about a policy question in terms of the Visit Malawi campaign, the Tiziamba Ndife Malawi campaign, and where we are at as far as leveraging on benefits from there. Madam First Deputy Speaker, just to announce to the House that at the moment, as a sector, we have fully recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic. We have fully recovered. Pre-COVID-19 figures were around 936,000, somewhere there, in terms of visitors. But at the moment, we have surpassed that number. We are about 1.2 million visitors. But just to say that the visitors that are coming into our country, Madam First Deputy Speaker, at the moment, 60% they are coming here for business. And we want to flip those numbers now so that people should be coming to Malawi for leisure and entertainment and holidays. And that's what we are working on, Madam First Deputy Speaker. And one of the issues that we need to do is exactly what I was talking about in the question that I was addressing from Mwanza Central, to say, when these people come for holiday or adventure or leisure, what exactly are they going to see? And that's where the product development element of our work comes into play. So Machinga is just to say that we are benefiting, and we are now fully recovered from COVID-19 pandemic. Chikwawa Central is talking about the boundary issue on the Lengwe National Park. Like I promised, we will definitely come so that we come and discuss. So I would want to engage you personally. We will definitely come so that we discuss this issue. We are also dealing with the same issues at the Kasungu National Park, and we are almost 90% resolved on those issues. And I want to believe that we could do the same thing with the people of Lengwe National Park in Chikwawa Central. With those remarks, Madam First Deputy Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Tourism, Leader of the House.
Yeah, thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker. I'm rising to ask that we introduce, I beg that we introduce a supplementary order paper, and this is to do with the PPDA Act and the money bills that are to be secreted to the Honorable House. Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I now put a question, and the question is that supplementary order paper be introduced to the House. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Leader.
Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to beg that we waive the current order paper in order for us to tackle government business bills. And this time around, we start with the insurance bill. That's bill number 26 of 2024. I beg to move.
Honorable members, we have a motion before us, and the motion is asking the House to waive today's order paper in order for the House to tackle government business bills. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contra opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
General business, government business, item 3C, bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, first reading.
Oh. Honorable Minister, before you, I just want to make this clarification that we had question understanding order 14, and it was supposed to come soon after question time. But now that we have already moved the motion, then we have to proceed with business the way we have moved it. I see Honorable Machinga Northeast on a point of order. I know you want to raise the same issue. Honorable Minister, second reading when?
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, today and now.
Honorable members, I now put a question, and the question is that second reading of bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, be taken now. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contra opinion say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Government business, 3C, second reading, financial bill number 26 of 2024, insurance.
Honorable Minister, proceed.
Thank you very much. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the insurance bill be now read. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the bill before us seeks to replace the Insurance Act, Chapter 4701, to address the limitations of the Act. Its main objective, Madam Speaker, is to make provisions for the regulation of the insurance industry and supervision of insurance entities in order to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and highest standard of conduct of business of insurance entities for the benefit and protection of policyholders. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the background to this is that Insurance Act was enacted in 2011 to provide a legal framework for the supervision and regulation of the insurance sector. However, during the implementation of the Act, some gaps were noted which had been hampering the regulation, supervision, and growth of the insurance industry. The bill before us, therefore, the bill will therefore repeal and replace the Insurance Act of 2011 with the aim of making better provision for regulation of the insurance industry in order to protect policyholders, and the general public. It will also address the limitations of the current Act and emerging issues in the insurance sector. The bill, among other things, will provide the following: licensing, authorization, and supervision of key players in the insurance industry. The requirement for insurers and insurance brokers to develop and implement corporate governance and risk management frameworks to minimize operational risks. Framework for the supervision of insurance entities by the registrar. Investment by insurers and prescribes investments that require prior written approval of the registrar with a view to protecting policyholders. Statutory management of an insurer where, among other reasons, the insurer has failed to comply with this regulation or legislation or any regulatory requirement, or where the registrar determines that the insurer is in unsafe or unsound condition to transact business and the insurer is unable to promptly address condition. Reorganization and dissolution of insurance entities. Voluntary and compulsory winding up of insurance entities. Mandatory insurance for public works and buildings to cover liability for death, injury, and loss resulting from hazards or building collapse, fire, earthquake, storm, or floods to workers and members of the public who visit the premises, and offences and provides penalties for contravention of the legislation. Madam Deputy Speaker, this bill contains 112 sections and its key provisions are outlined below. A, it provides for licensing, authorization, and supervision of key players in the insurance industry. The bill also provides for suspension of a license or authorization in case of a minor breach of the law or a license term condition, and revocation of a license in case a serious breach of the law or a license term and condition. B, it prescribes a requirement for insurers and insurance brokers to develop and implement corporate governance and risk management frameworks to minimize operational risks. This bill further prescribes a requirement for directors and managers of insurers and insurance brokers to meet fit and proper requirements prescribed by the registrar of financial institutions to ensure that the institutions are managed by people with the requisite professional qualifications, skills, and integrity. It also does prescribe operational requirements for insurers, which include requirements to meet capital and service requirements, settlement of insurance claims, placement of insurance business in Malawi culture, and appointment of auditors and actuaries to undertake annual audits and valuation of assets respectively. D, it provides for repayment or payment and collection of premiums. In this respect, Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill provides that an insurance policy shall be valid upon payment of premium to the insurer. An intermediary who collects premium on behalf of insurer is required to remit the premium to the insurer within 24 hours of collection. And E, the bill provides a framework for supervision of insurance entities and further provides for group supervision of an insurance entity where the entity is part of a group of companies. It also does provide for investment by insurers and prescribed investments that require prior written approval of the registrar with a view to protect policyholders. The bill further authorizes an insurer to lend to a policyholder where the policyholder undertakes to use his or her policy with the insurer as collateral for the loan. It also does provide for statutory management of an insurer where, among other reasons, the insurer has failed to comply with the legislation or any regulatory requirement, or when the RFI determines that the insurer is unsafe, unsound condition to transact business and the insurer is unable to promptly address the condition. It also does provide for reorganization and dissolution of insurance entities. It makes provision for voluntary and compulsory winding up of insurance entities where the RFI revokes the license of the entity. It makes provision for appointment of a liquidator and the process to be followed in liquidation or liquidating the entity. It provides for mandatory insurance of public works and buildings to cover liability for death, injury and loss resulting from hazards of building collapse, fire, floods to workers and members of the public who visit the premises. The RFI will be required to establish a disaster fund to which insurers of public works and buildings will remit a portion of the premiums collected. The fund will be used to procure equipment and facilities required in firefighting services, disaster risk operations, and any other disaster-related service prescribed by the RFI. And finally, the bill aims to remove inconsistencies and to provide for new definitions in the Act, generally remove and or amend inefficient provisions in the Act and provide for better administration of the Act by the RFI. Madam Speaker, this bill, once enacted, will address emerging issues in the insurance sector and make provision for the regulation of the insurance industry. The bill will also enhance supervision of insurance entities to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and the highest standard of conduct of business of insurance entities for the benefit and protection of policyholders. I therefore, Madam Speaker, would like to invite the whole House, honorable members of this august House, to support the bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the bill number 26 of 2024 be laid the second time. Madam Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable members, may I have spokespersons, starting with DPP.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker.
Proceed, Mangochi Southwest.
Yes.
Yes, proceed.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, first of all, I stand here to respond on behalf of the mighty Democratic Progressive Party, whose leadership is His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, to respond to the proposed insurance bill of 2024. Madam First Deputy Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, without necessarily going through what the Minister of Finance has presented, you will allow me just a minute to briefly state what we see in this bill, that this bill is repealing and replacing Insurance Act, which was there, Chapter 4701, to address emerging issues in the industry, in the insurance industry, and that the main objective is to regulate this industry as well as supervise the insurance entities to promote safety, soundness, prudent management, and highest standards of conduct for the benefit and protection of policyholders, for the benefit and protection of consumers, and which are Malawians. There are a number of good things in this bill. For example, we are talking about licensing and supervision. We are talking about corporate governance and risk management, operational requirements for insurers. We also have liquidation, or what we call companies when they are in distress. How are they going to be managed? And we also have premium payment and correction. Now it will be a requirement that insurance premiums, once paid, they should be limited to the insurer by a broker within 24 hours. That is a plus. And that we want to have middlemen in between. That is also a plus. And also there is an arrangement for investment and lending. That is also a plus. However, Madam Speaker, any bill, as good as it may appear like this one, it has certain gray areas that require us to address. And we are going to speak to these gray areas as Democratic Progressive Party. First of all, this bill, and I would want the Minister of Finance to be listening. Please, thank you very much, Mr. Minister of Finance. This bill lacks sufficient detail. We needed the more precise definitions and quantitative measures in areas such as capital adequacy, solvency margins, and also we needed to clearly define some procedures which are crucial to minimize ambiguity and also ensure that there is consistent application of this bill. For example, the bill does not state the fit and proper requirements. In the bill, you are referred to another bill, which is the Financial Services Bill. We believe that this bill should be standalone because it is regulating the insurance industry. The bill also falls short of providing clarity in the reinsurance arrangements. There must be some minimum guidelines. For example, if you want to reinsure your business, are you going to insure 100%? Are you going to insure 5% of that business? What is the best level, the best amount that you can reinsure? Because this is a safety standard to make sure that the companies are protected in the event of liquidation or in the event of failing to limit the premium or the payment of the amount that has been insured. Again, Madam Speaker, there is also need for more clarity in terms of when you can now initiate what we call liquidation mechanisms. For a company that is in distress, at what point will the registrar? What are the trigger points for a company to be, put into a liquidation process? That needs also to be properly explained in this bill. There is section 26 in the bill. It is permitting subsidiary companies to own shares in a holding company. However, it does not state how much that can be allowed. There could be a situation, if we leave it open-ended, you could have a situation where a subsidiary company will end up owning a holding company, its own holding company. So there also must be some guidelines, protection, safety nets in that regard. There is section 30 and section 33. It provides for termination of insurance broking contracts, and this is only one side, that the insurance company can do that, can terminate the contract. What about the broking company? The broking company may also wish to move out of a contract, and surely they should be given that leeway to do so under the law. Then there is this section 59, Madam Speaker, which is allowing policyholders
to obtain a loan from an insurance company. Put it maybe in a different way, allowing the insurance companies to begin to provide loans to policy holders. The provision or the mandate to provide loans currently rests with the financial institutions. The Honorable Minister may wish to reconcile that with the Financial Services Bill. Are we now beginning to allow insurance companies to lend money, a service that is already being done by the financial institutions? Are we not creating competition with the financial institutions? This may also need to be looked at. Then there is this mandatory insurance and disaster fund. There is need to specify, because it is really gray in the Act. This disaster fund, who is going to manage it? What are the oversight functions or arrangements? How is it going to be allocated? The funds are going to be allocated. And ancillary to that, the bill now also is introducing a requirement by owners, and please, the whole House through you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, you need to note this. The bill is introducing a mandatory insurance to owners and occupiers of public building. Insurance to owners, and now public buildings. In the Act, the way they have described it is any building, they say any building, let me just read so that a public building means a building to which members of the public have ingress and egress, and includes a tenement house, a hostel, or lodge. In simple words, it's a building that people enter and also people go out. And we have so many, and you can think of so many buildings. We have the churches, we have the mosques, we have in our constituencies the primary schools, the secondary schools, we have the hospitals, CBOs, and everything, you name it. What is now this law requiring us to do is we must ensure so that if anyone is injured while entering and coming out of these buildings, insurance must be paid. The question is, while this may be a good law, it's a standard international best practice, but in our situation where we are a nation that we seek more resources, we have lots of competing needs. Our budget, the budget that we've just passed, you can see that we are also borrowing and so forth. Where will government, number one, where will government find the money to insure these buildings? What about those non-governmental organizations? What about the religious bodies? They own lots of schools. How are they going to manage to source money to insure for their buildings? Are we not shooting ourselves in the foot? And this is what we would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to consider. Again, Madam Speaker, assuming that, yes, there is that need for us to insure our buildings, can we not extend the same provision to operations of cabazas? Right now, the cabazas are not insured. Can the Minister of Finance look at appropriate mechanisms to ensure that the riders, the passengers, even the drivers of cabaza, particularly the motorcycles, are insured? Some time back, the Minister of Health complained that over about 3.3 3 billion is being spent just to take care of patients that have sustained injuries, in a Kapaza business. So can the minister also maybe explore ways of how this business can be also safeguarded and ensured? Proceeding, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the DPP also notes the discrepancies and discrimination with regard to offenses and penalties. Under this regime, what we have seen is that if you are an individual, an actual person, an individual, you have been found wanting under the law, you could be penalized with a financial penalty, say 10 million, but also you will be imprisoned for a maximum period of 10 years, which is a double punishment, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Contrast that with the companies and corporate organizations. They are saying the corporate companies will just pay, for example, where you are paying, an individual is paying 10 million, they are saying the company will just pay 25 million, no imprisonment. So we would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to go beyond the companies, lift the veil, and also begin to penalize the directors as well. Finally, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, there is also a provision, section 107. It's introducing that under importation, when you're importing a vehicle, for example, from Japan, you import CIF, cost insurance freight. Now, this bill has dismantled, has taken the insurance, that insurance should be done locally by our local companies. Imagine you have imported a vehicle from Japan, it's in transit, and whatever happens in transit, how then are we going to make sure that that vehicle is restored to its original nature if we have insured with the local company? Is it a question of just preserving the forex? Maybe the minister could look at better ways of managing that instead of removing the insurance out of the CIF from importation. And this applies not only vehicles, everything that we are importing, it must be insured. Having reached this far, therefore, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, we would want to say this, that this bill requires comprehensive review. When we were doing the research, we approached the Association of Insurance Players. They said they are not aware of this bill. I also approached the Bankers Association. They said they are not aware of this bill. I also did approach the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Malawi. They said they are not aware of this bill. Much as it is urgent, I would want to appeal to the Minister of Finance to refer this bill to the necessary committee, which is Budget and Finance, for a comprehensive review. With that, therefore, on behalf of the Mighty Democratic Progressive Party and our President, who is coming on 16 September 2025, I submit our position. Thank you very much, Madam First Deputy Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The people of Mangochi Southwest, representing DPP. Now it's time for UDF to respond to the bill. Honorable Member for Mangochi South, representing UDF, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. for recognizing Mangochi South on behalf of UDF. Madam Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, unfortunately, our spokesperson who was supposed to reply on this is out, but I'll just say a few words. UDF supports this bill because of the noble aim to protect policyholders. Because of that, protecting policyholders, UDF supports the bill because we have experienced a lot of problems up to now, where especially insurance brokers, the ones who stand on behalf of the proper insurance company. Madam Deputy Speaker, they make us dance up and down when an accident takes place. You go up and down, and some of them want a little bit something to get before they do the service to you quickly. So a lot of things have happened, and I'm sure all members, they all know this. I don't think I'm the only one who has, not only me, I mean people that I represent. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, this is a very technical bill. And if I heard correctly from the colleague from DPP, that all stakeholders haven't been consulted. And here we are, we want to pass this bill quickly. Is it not possible, even just give it a day, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, so that our stakeholders, why are you fearing them? The Bankers Association, the insurance associations, and what have you, why are you fearing them? I mean, this law affects them, and we are the lawmakers. Let me say, it's not that I don't support the bill. I support the bill because it's going to protect us, policyholders. But if it's true, what the member of DPP has said, is it not possible just to delay the bill until tomorrow and the stakeholders are consulted? With these few remarks, UDF supports the bill, but with the consultations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Mangochi South, representing UDF. Leader of the House.
Right, Honorable.
Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. For the first time in this House.
Honorable Member, I have given the floor to the Honorable Leader.
For the first time in this House, I've never liked the Honorable Namalomba, the way I've liked him today. Honorable Namalomba spoke very well.
Honorable Member, Honorable Leader of the House, he has a constituency.
Mangochi Southwest. Today he reminded me that he really belongs to us. Anyway, I also thank you, Mangochi South, for such wonderful words. I know many could have wanted to speak on the bill, but look, we have quite a lot of bills today. These two would do a very good representation of our thoughts. I therefore beg to move that debate be cut out in order to allow the Honorable Minister wind up debate. I beg to move.
Honorable members, we have a motion on the floor, and the motion is to ask the House to curtail debate in order for the Honorable Minister to wind up. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The noes have it, and you have heard it. You have heard it. No, it's not a secret. You have heard it. The noes have it, and the motion is defeated. Why are you standing? Division granted. Honorable Leader, you have the floor.
Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to propose that we withdraw the division, but I would like to move a motion. The motion is that we allow 2 or 3 more people to speak, but we conclude this bill before lunch break. I beg to move.
Thank you very much, Leader. Honorable members, honorable members, we have a motion before us, and the motion is to withdraw division and then allow almost 3 members to contribute on the bill, and then we conclude the process of this bill before we go for lunch break. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. Choro Central, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam First Deputy Speaker, and thank you, Leader, for withdrawing it. A few points, Madam Speaker. This bill, among many, particularly I would dwell on Objective 3, and I want to find out from the Minister if he can clarify, because he says in 3C particularly, have a head office, that the insurance company should have a head office in Malawi, and that both the CEO and the deputy CEO should reside in Malawi. The question, Honorable Minister, would be, are we saying the CEO and the deputy CEO should be Malawians? When we say they should reside in Malawi, it implies that they can be foreigners, but residing in Malawi. And we know we've got international companies like that we can cite that are international, and that their head offices are outside. Of what benefit really will it be for their CEOs to reside in Malawi and have reside in Malawi when their head offices are somewhere? And then furthermore, what benefit really are we or what mischief are we trying here to arrest? That's from the memorandum. As you go down, you'll find we are talking about that. I would like as well to discuss more on 8, where we are talking about these public buildings. And my point would be like that of DPP when you go to section 91. And I would like really to find out particularly on this 1, 2, 3. And I will start with the 3, which says the minister may, by notice published in Gazette, exempt any public building from application of this section. What will inform the minister to exempt a building 1 and not 2? We've got different public institutions, for example, markets. We have got different institutions, for example, private school versus government schools. Those are public schools where one enters, public institutions where one enters, one comes out. So, Honorable Minister, what will inform you to really be convinced that I must exempt this one and not this? Because where we sit now, all these public institutions, public buildings are so many. My last point, Madam Secretary Speaker, government is in arrears in some cases in as far as premiums are concerned on different programs and as far as insurances are concerned. Here we are with so many public buildings that are owned by the government. Will the government really honor premiums to these insurance companies, or we are just putting it for the sake of putting it on the paper, and that we will find government in arrears by so many months, thereby accumulating debts which we may not be able to ourselves pay. I would want clarity and to make sure, particularly our councils, because when councils have got problems, they end up being sheriffed at times and having so much of problems. So with the decentralizations, most of the buildings are owned by district councils. What provisions have we put in place to make sure that we don't get ourselves in a situation where we are too much in arrears on these premiums in as far as the government institutions are concerned? With these few remarks, I want to thank you once again, and the people of Cholo Central say I support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Blantyre North.
Thank you, First Deputy Speaker, for allowing Blantyre North to add one or two issues on the bill. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I'm very delighted that the bill is talking of the period where a settlement claim should be paid. We have seen our people in our constituencies being on the waiting list for more than 3 years. Especially in my constituency, I have specific issues where I've been approached that the court has made its ruling that this particular person should be paid the amount, but they have been waiting, going to the insurance company to be paid, but the payment is not coming, it's not forthcoming. To make matters worse, there are some cases whereby the agents who represents the people on behalf, who represent them, who go to the court on their behalf, but when the ruling has been made and the payment has been made, they are not given the compensation. This is very, very, very painful for the claimants. And to make matters worse, there are some cases whereby the one who have claimed doesn't know how much is going to be paid. It's like chakuda jofira wajona ndani. They don't know how much they're going to receive, despite that the court has made the ruling and the amount has been mentioned. But the claimant, the actual person who have suffered the injury, doesn't know how much is going to receive. So I'm supporting this bill because I want to believe that this will arrest these anomalies. I hope, it's my sincere hope that this will be put into action. Because honestly, our people has suffered. And I really support this bill, specifically on this point that it has put the 14 days for the payment to be made, and the insurances will be under microscope to make the payment. With these very few remarks, I support the bill. I thank you.
Thank you. Zimbanov. Yeah. No, my motion was 3.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Well, I appreciate very much this bill. The item on the main departure from the main bill is saying, thirdly, the bill prescribes operational requirements for insurers. These requirements, among others, include the requirements to reinsure the risk with the insurers. Second Deputy Speaker, insure the risk with the insurers. The bill does not cover the point of regulating the insurers. So insurance companies stand here alone, but the insurance could be Lloyd's, Old Mutual, the Lloyd's of Standard in the UK. But when you are trying to reinsure, companies here, they fall under, because the regulations in Malawi do not regulate the insurance company in the United Kingdom. Does not regulate the insurance company Zimri. So in that way, companies in Malawi, which are regulated in Malawi, are not covered under international coverage. And this bill has left that very important component. And the next thing, apart from establishing a head office, I would have loved if this insurance bill could have activated an authority or an association of actuarial sciences, who would be like chartered surveyors, chartered accountants, but actuarial people with knowledge in actuarial science, so that they can regulate their profession properly. That has been missed in this bill. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, while talking about the same, insurance companies cover both immature and mature funds. Naturally, immature funds are funds which are contributory in nature. They have not yet matured. They carry a heavy risk. While mature funds, there are mature funds like pension funds. But now, here it comes in, say, Old Mutual. It is both managing pension funds and shareholders' funds. Who is going to regulate the two? Because the pension funds is under a certain regulation. The shareholder funds is also under certain regulations. And the umbrella chairperson who is regulating is also the same person, the Reserve Bank governor. There is a conflict of interest which need to be regulated in this bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would have loved also to make sure that this bill should be in tandem with other bills like securitization. When you are doing a securitization bill, the principal and the insurer or the secretariat, be it the insurance company, it must provide the premium for a yield in the money market so that it is properly covered. Again, that is not covered in this bill. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would have liked that these two should have actually been looked to closely so that the economy of Malawi, when you are issuing treasury bills, should be understood in the context of what you are insuring. Finally, Deputy Speaker, I wanted to also regulate some few things. When companies like Old Mutual, Nico, they are holding shares in all banks, but we should regulate how much shares they can hold in all these banks to maintain their minimum requirements. Otherwise, if they keep on investing in all these banks, they will always be seen to be liquid because they are holding in these banks. But apart from that, while they are holding shares, they are also investing pension funds in these banks into treasury bills. Silently, they are actually doing inside trading. Deputy Speaker, this is killing the economy because the margins of government to paying out into inside trading of that kind is much, much more, and it can affect government debt levels. And this should also be closely looked at in this bill so that it should be in tandem with capital requirements and capital reserves.
Consider winding up on
With these few remarks, Deputy Speaker, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Blantyre City South.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to agree with the previous speakers that the bill indeed is trying to bring sanity, and it is a good bill. But my worry is the government always says it is a listening government. Here, the opposition have given their side. We expected not to be bulldozed. Let's not bulldoze these laws. These laws are very serious. Let's take this bill to the budget committee, even if it's today. Polish it up, because Madam Speaker, it's not clear. We've got ADMAC markets, we've got clinics, we've got hospitals, we've got public institutions that people go in and come out. We just need to polish up this bill. And here comes government bulldozing without paying attention, and they say they are listening government. Madam Speaker, this bill will just enrich insurance companies at the expense of poor Malawians. Insurance companies are smiling now. They're going to be very rich at the expense of poor Malawians. I know they're making noise there because that's how they're used to, GIA boys, But they should take time to open this and read the bill. They will understand that this bill will harm Malawians more than now. Are you telling me government is going to show all ADMAC depots? Are you telling me ADMAC government is going to show all clinics, all hospitals? They'll go bankrupt. They're already almost there. So let's be serious. We are just suggesting that we polish it up through the relevant committees. Why have the relevant stakeholders being omitted, not consulted? Yet they are the big players in this bill. We need their input. Madam Speaker, I would like to support this bill, but with some polishing to be done through the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader of the House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would be standing here to propose that we curtail debate, but I wanted to give the benefit of doubt. With a sober mind of our members have discussed this bill. Maybe the honorable member, if through you, would cite which committees were not consulted. Because we consulted all parliamentary committees that are relevant to this bill. And which stakeholders were not consulted. Because we consulted all stakeholders that are supposed to be consulted on this bill. And while the minister is going to respond, I think let's not read in isolation. When it says the minister shall, that's the question that Mangochi Southwest was asking. What will the minister be based on when deciding? And that's what the minister will respond. So it's not like everything will be ensured, but the minister with discretion shall be able to decide this must be ensured. So I think let's wait for the honorable minister to respond to that. But in terms of consultation, I wanted to bring to attention that parliamentary committees, especially Legal Affairs Committee, which is mandated by our own constitution and law, standing orders to look at the bill, they were done so. Therefore, we're standing to say that this was not a bulldozed bill. Legal Affairs, she is the chair for Budget and Finance. Bills are supposed to go through Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament per our constitution. I beg to move that debate be curtailed in order to allow the Honorable Minister of Finance to wind up debate. I beg to move.
Member, we have a motion on the floor, so I cannot grant you the point of order. Honorable members, the question is that debate be curtailed in order for the Honorable Minister to wind up. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried. What has gone out of order, Honorable?
Madam Speaker, is it in order that today we should pass a bill and tomorrow the Budget Committee is meeting to discuss the same bill? What will they be meeting to discuss tomorrow after we pass it today? Are we serious? Is it in order, Madam Speaker?
Honorable member, thank you very much. After passing the bill, the committee cannot come in the House with the same bill or on the same issue. That is not possible. But now, the decision made by the whole House supersedes that of the committee. I rule in that way. Thank you. Honorable Minister, may you wind up, please?
Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I would like, through you, to thank all honorable members who have raised very pertinent issues on this bill, starting from Brantaya North, Cholosento, Mangochi South, Mangochi Southwest, Mzimba North, Madam Deputy Speaker, let me provide a clarity that the issues raised by Blantyre Southeast about the committee meeting, they are not meeting on this particular bill, there are other bills. And I hope that settles. The issues raised by Cholo Center as to what will be used as yardstick to determine exemptions of other, or of some of the property buildings. The answer to this one is that regulations and laid down procedures will actually equip and empower the ministry to effect exemptions. It is obvious that it could not be each and every building because that now becomes bargain in terms of cost implications. So when drafting this bill, we took in cognizance of all the issues that Cholo Center raised. Blantyre North, two issues that I picked from you. The first one is that the bill has nothing to do with lawyers paying their clients, which is what you said. But the other part, I totally agree with you, that the bill is bringing sanity and addressing the ambiguities when it comes to, insurance transactions in this country. You remember how some insurance companies have actually manipulated, leaving behind policyholders crying. I think that's the reason why I'm also in support with the statement from Mangochi South, because the bill provides not only sanity, but also an opportunity for policyholders to enjoy their rights, because sometimes they actually don't. But at the same time, the sanity that is being brought in between the insurers or insurance companies and the policy holders is something that has not been addressed in the previous act that we are repealing. Defaulting on premiums, what will government do? I think this is Cholo Center. Or someone else raised this issue. I think even when we are doing the budgeting, those that are involved in budgeting will actually factor in all the associated costs, including the premiums, so that we are able to pay premiums. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Mzimba North, I think the bill has nothing to do with life insurance. He talked about Old Mutual or Nico. No, these are issues that my abongos can always debate on. But generally, the spokesperson on DPP raised a list of issues. I would like to invite to pages 1, Roman numerals 1, 2, and 3 of the bill. It actually describes the objects that are supposed to be achieved by this bill. This is a long overdue bill, and I hope through you, Madam Deputy Speaker, honorable members will see the importance of having this bill, just as it has been alluded to by Mangochi South honorable member. Having said this, Madam First Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be laid a second time. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I therefore put a question, and the question is that Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, should be read a second time. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contra opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Bills, committee stage, Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance.
Honorable members, may I have a volunteer to chair the committee stage? Legal Affairs Chair, please come. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, order. Mangoch Southwest, order. Honorable members, welcome to the committee stage of bill number 26. Please take your seats, honorable members. Yeah. Welcome to the committee stage of bill number 26 of 2024, insurance. I wish to inform you that so far the chair has not received any notice of amendment on this bill. Therefore, if no one wishes to speak, I now put a question. I see Mangoch Southwest.
Chairperson, I have just submitted for your attention an amendment, and it's a simple amendment, and it is to the clause 91, where it says, I don't know whether you have that amendment, but I did it through the secretariat, that where they are saying the definition of a public building shall mean, I would say the definition of a public building shall mean a commercial building. So we just want to clarify that a building, not any other building, it must be commercial building. Just to make sure that public buildings, the buildings that we have highlighted are not included. So just to also make sure that the government is also protected, the religious institutions are also protected. We cannot, Chairperson, and you know, we cannot be at the mess of the minister. What if we do not have a good minister like my brother there? At that moment, he may prescribe that the mosque should be paying insurance. He would prescribe that my church, the Roman Catholic, should now begin to pay insurance over its buildings. We don't want to be at the mess of a minister. So that's why we said we should put in the word commercial to that definition.
Thank you so much, Mangoch Southwest. You are very aware, Mangoch Southwest, that according to our standing orders, any notice of amendment is supposed to meet the 24-hour period. However, I would like to yield the floor to the government side, the Honorable Minister, to respond to the issue I've raised. Thank you.
Chairperson, The bill clearly stipulates that the minister, following laid down procedures and regulations, will actually decide. But I wanted to make it clear that anything commercial, as is highlighted, is also private, and then it becomes cumbersome. If we are to entertain almost all of these, then it becomes difficult to implement this. Therefore, the answer to this one is not now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Yes, point of order, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to perhaps to assist the minister, if it's possible.
But I think that's not the point of order. Why is out of order?
Is it order for the minister to be saying the discussion should still exist? What I wanted is perhaps if he said that will be provided for in the guidelines. Because in the guidelines you should be specific. You have the act there, and maybe before implementation of the bill, if you said that will be covered, because just to leave it to your discretion, I don't think that's dangerous. I thought that you would have said you want it to be covered, all those issues that have been raised, which are very important, should be covered in the guidelines. I thought that would be better. Thank you, Chair.
Oh, all right, I don't want to open a debate, as you are aware, honorable members, on the committee stage. However, I'll still yield the floor to the honorable minister to come in.
The good thing is that the word shadow is an object that represents the real thing. So it's like, no, that's my dear brother. So it means we communicate. When I was responding about laid down procedures, is as good as saying the guidelines, just as he has indicated. So we are saying not now, but using those guidelines, those issues might be considered as its basis, because definitely if we put all these together, then definitely this bill to actually be packed back and pregnant, it will be very difficult for us to implement. Mr. Chairperson, I submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. If no one wishes to speak, honorable members, I now put a question. And the question is that clauses 1 to 112 stand part of the bill. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honorable members, this marks the end of the committee stage of the bill number 26 of 2024 insurance bill. Thank you so much for your participation. Thank you.
Bills report stage, bill number 26 of 2024 insurance.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, inform the House what transpired on committee stage.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the bill passed through committee stage without an amendment, and I therefore beg to move that the bill be laid a third time.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question, and the question is that Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, be read a third time. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Bills third reading, Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that Bill number 26 of 2024 be read a third time and passed.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question, and the question is that Bill number 26 of 2024, insurance, be read a third time and pass. Those of that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, the motion is carried, therefore the bill has passed. Honorable members, I now suspend the House for lunch break. We'll be back at 30 minutes after 2. Those of that, it's not a motion. I said that you are not interested to go for lunch break. That's why. Thank you. House suspended.
Well, that's the second Deputy Speaker, Honorable Aisha Adams MP, suspending the House for lunch break. A recap of business on the floor so far. This morning, the House started with hearing communication from the Chair, who announced that His Excellency, the President, Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, will appear before Parliament on Wednesday, the 18th of December 2024, to answer questions under Section 89, subsection 4 of the Constitution of the Republic of Malawi. The President is expected to be in the House from 2 p.m. The President's appearance in Parliament is also in accordance with Standing Order 70A, subsection 2, which provides that the President shall be called to Parliament when written notices of 5 questions or more have been directed to the President. The Chair also informed the House that the President has appointed Honorable Vitumbiko Mumba as Minister of Labour. Following the announcements, the House proceeded to tackle questions on notice to ministers for oral replies, and the 2 ministries have responded to questions so far. These are Ministry of Transport and Ministry of Labour. Members of Parliament for Machinga Central, Zomba Malosa, Zomba Tondwe and Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma constituencies are among those that asked questions to the ministries. After the questions, the House introduced a supplementary order paper to tackle Bill number 26 over 2024, insurance. The bill has passed. Business resumes at 2:30 this afternoon. Mmenemu ndi momwe zayendera zokambirana za phungu lero chigawo cha kum'mawako. Zokambirana lero zinayamba ndi uthenga ochokera kwa achiwiri a speaker amene wandi olemekezeka Aisha Adams MP, amene adziwitsa nyumbayi kuti mtsogoleri wa dziko lino Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera abwera ku nyumba ya malamulo mawa lachitatu pa 18 December 2024 kudzayankha mafunso. Izi ndi malingana ndi gawo 89 ndi ime yachinayi ya malamulo a dziko lino, komanso gawo 70A ndi ime yachiwiri ya malamulo oyendetsera zokambirana za phungu a nyumba ya malamulo. Iwo adziwitsanso nyumbayi kuti mtsogoleri wa dziko lino anasankha Vitumbiko Mumba kukhala nduna yoona za ntchito. Zitatha zolengezazi, maunduna awiri, unduna oona za mtengatenga ndi zomangamanga, komanso unduna oona zokopa alendo anayankha mafunso kuchokera kwa aphungu. Ndipo mafunsowa achokera kwa aphungu oyimirira madera a Machinga Central, Zomba Malosa, Zomba Tondwe komanso Lilongwe Mpenu Nkoma. Kuchoka hapo, nyumbayi yaunika ndi kuvomereza bill number 26 ya chaka cha 2024 yomwe ikufuna kusintha lamulo loteteza katundu wa anthu, insurance pa Chingelezi. Pakadali pano achiwiri a speaker olemekezeka a Aisha Adams MP ayimitsa kayi zokambirana kuti aphungu apite ku nkhoma lilo. Zokambirana zipitirira.
Osayiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.